Clothes are more than just a piece of fabric. They can be a means of self-expression, or an act of rebellion, or in the case of Boys Run the Riot, well, they're a riot. However, before I dive into the role fashion plays in Boys Run the Riot, as well as from an overall larger cultural perspective, I suppose I should give a brief summary of the manga so that we're all on the same page. The story follows Ryo, a closeted trans teenager who's struggling with the awkwardness of navigating high school, his feelings about his body, and his crush on his best friend. Of course, none of this is helped by the fact that he has to wear the girls' uniform at school. It's outside of school that he's able to feel the most comfortable, when he's able to wear whatever the hell kind of clothes he wants. Then, one day, when he's out shopping, he bumps into his slacker classmate, Jean, as they reach for the same shirt at the same exact time. Since they both have a similar taste in fashion, his classmate comes up with a wild proposition. What if they started a fashion brand together? And so they do. I think going into this manga, it's important to recognize that not only is this manga a realistic and heartfelt queer coming-of-age story, but it's a story about misfits coming together to start a small indie fashion brand. It's a love letter to fashion. We get to see all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into building a fashion brand from the ground up, because it's not just a business for them. This is a passion project, a shared dream, and it's about sending a message. As Jean explains, the purpose of the brand is to stick their middle finger to society, to bite back at the society that ostracizes them. That's in part where the inspiration for the title, Boys Run the Riot, comes from, meaning that clothes can be an artistic form of rioting. You see, alternative fashion is deeply rooted in counterculture movements. The two of them go hand in hand. For instance, Sukebon, the OG girl boss, like literally their name translates to girl boss, they were female gang leaders who emerged out of Japan's poor economic conditions during the 60s and 70s. Sukebon and their gang members typically distinguished themselves by wearing modified versions of school uniforms with long skirts in opposition to the short skirts that were popular at the time. Counterculture fashion is a statement, and likewise, Ryo is able to find his own voice through fashion as well. In the beginning of the manga, we see him start off as a shy and insecure guy who doesn't speak out in order to avoid drawing too much negative attention to himself. He's only able to express himself through his graffiti art. It's a creative outlet for him, and it's Jean who first recognizes this. That's why he encourages Ryo to harness that desire and channel his voice into graphic design for their brand. From here on out, slowly we get to see Ryo come out of his shell. However, individualism does sometimes come at a cost. Throughout the story, we keep hearing a reoccurring motif. It's from the old adage, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down, meaning that the person who stands out is met with social resistance, rejection, and ridicule. And herein lies one of the central conflicts of this story, being true to yourself versus the desire to conform to social expectations out of fear of alienation. However, should you choose to defy the norm and march to the beat of your own drum, you may just find a new sense of belonging and acceptance with fellow misfits, and that I think is worth it.